on location at the Commercial Property Boot Camp in Jacksonville, Florida for this week's Ask Ron. Say hello.
Hello.
The first question on this week's Ask Ron is from Perzina in Georgia.
Okay.
First question, there's 4 questions to this. How do I determine the ARV of a property?
Well, the best way is to get into my boot camp so I can train you. The next best answer is there are 3 main criteria: close in proximity, recent sale, and close in square footage. And then you go to a website. We use Dreams. All of them are lined up down there in linear order. And then we see what compares to ours, mostly closely in square footage. And make sure that it is, if it's on the map, it's probably close in proximity, but you know, there's a lot of things you have to look for, like big dividers, and one's on the water and one's not, and so forth. But I want to pick the top 2 best comps that I can find, as long as I think they're real comps. And that's what I'm going to use to calculate my ARV. Dreams will do it for you. Just highlight the ones you want to pick and it'll add it up, tell you what your ARV is on the property. And by the way, there's a lesson on how to do that on Dreams.
All right, the next part is it okay to advertise my Gold Club, my sales websites, on a website that I own?
No, we can't connect to other websites. Frankly, you get our website as part of our $297 a month thing. You don't really need another website, because this one's going to do everything and more that yours does. And no, our websites will not interchange with your website.
The next part is, on the lead property information sheet, what does area of town mean?
Oh, come on. I want to know what side of town it's on, that's all. What side of town? What would somebody looking to buy the house, how would they recognize where it's located in the city? Because we don't publish the address of the house. I live in Mandarin, for example, okay? It's not a city, it's just part of Jacksonville, and every city has their names for their areas that they live in, including yours.
All right, and then the final part of this one is, what is an irrevocable and revocable trust, and when should I use them?
Irrevocable trust means that you can't take this stuff out once you put it in. Revocable trust, you can. A land trust is a revocable trust. When should use them? You should use them when you get an attorney to create an estate plan for you and decide whether they need to be put in or not. And I can't go any further than that, because those are different for everyone.
Okay, so the next question is from Rick in New York. Hello, Ron.
Hello.
When doing a seller finance deal, does the seller avoid capital gains or a 1031 exchange?
Well, Rick, it depends. You didn't tell me whether the house was owner-occupied or not, because if it's owner-occupied, none of that applies. If it is non-owner-occupied, then it will trigger capital gains, long-term versus short-term. Long-term meaning you owned it over a year, and you're probably at 15% maximum tax there. And exchange has nothing to do with, because you can't exchange your residence anyway, but you can exchange a non-owner occupied property. You go on the Gold Club, you'll find a seminar on there, a short one that I just did, on 3 ways to exchange your house and never pay taxes. And it's probably worth you going chasing down, because it'll show you how to create a lot more estate and a lot more revenue, a lot more value doing an exchange into 3 properties and actually getting more money out of the exchange than you put in the exchange. It's on the Gold Club site.
Okay, and the final question for this week's Ask Ron is from Isabelle in Texas.
Okay.
Can you recommend a CRM for the pretty house business?
Yes, it's called Dreams. You led right into that one. That's for $297 a month. Your CRM is up and running in Dreams, along with your website. So is that it?
That is the last question for this week's Ask Ron.
Okay, you guys are running out of time. The year's almost over. It's almost Christmas time, for crying out loud. The year went by just like that. So get out there and get to work. Get ready for next year. I'll see you next week.